Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the Masters Ask Class. The Masters Ask Class is an educational channel on YouTube. And what I do is to help students who are preparing for the exams on government and literature. So today I'm going to continue with our lessons on government past questions, Jamb government 2020 past questions. Okay, in my last video I stopped at question 25. Okay. Question 25. So today we're going to continue from question 26. Question 26. One of the important advantages of federalism is that option A, any component state can secede at any time. B, each state can develop at its own pace. C, each state can only spend money allocated to it by the center. And D, citizens can not be taxed by both state and federal government. Okay. Now, which of these is an important advantage of federalism? Now, let's start by understanding what federalism actually entails. Okay, what is federalism? What is federal system of government? Okay, federalism is a system of government where you have multiple levels of authority. Where you have multiple levels of authority. Okay, you have the federal government, you have the state government. Okay, like Nigeria, we operate a federal system of government. What we practice here is federalism. Okay. In federalism, both the national government and the smaller political subdivisions have the power to make laws and both have a certain level of autonomy from each other. Okay. The federal government makes laws, the state government makes laws, okay, the local government can also make laws, okay, and they enjoy some kind of autonomy from each other. Okay, the state is autonomous. Okay, the federal government is autonomous, the local government is autonomous. Okay, now let's look at the options. So option A, any component state can secede at any time. Any component state can secede at any time. This is not correct, okay? It's not an advantage of federalism. In federalism, the states or the local governments cannot just break away from the country, okay? Or from the other parts of the country on its own anytime it feels like. It does not happen in federalism, in a federal system of government. Option B, we have each state can develop at its own pace. Of course, this is correct because each subdivision of political power, each subdivision, okay, of authority is independent, is autonomous, okay, so they can actually develop at their own pace. That is why you have different developmental levels in different states in Nigeria, okay. For example, Lagos is more developed than Ibadan. Okay, these are two different states. Okay, so each state can develop at its own pace. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Now we have option C. Each state can only spend money allocated to it by the center. Like I told you, the state government and the federal government can make laws. Okay, they collect taxes and they generate their own revenue. So the state governments do not wait or do not solely depend on the federal government. Okay, they don't solely depend on the money from the federal government. Okay, so it's not correct. Option D, citizens cannot be taxed by both state and federal government. This is not correct, okay, because the states imposes tax on the citizens and the federal government also imposes tax on the citizens. So it's not correct. So the correct answer, like I said, is option B, right? Option B, each state can develop at its own pace. Okay, that's an advantage of federalism. Now let's move to the next question, okay? The principle of collective responsibility means that ministers, option A, are collectively responsible to the head of state, B, are collectively responsible for cabinet decisions, C, are heads of their respective department, D, must always show a sense of responsibility to their ministers. Okay, now what exactly is collective responsibility? Now, collective responsibility simply implies that members of the cabinet, that is, the people in government, okay, must be accountable for the actions and decisions of the government, okay. They must be accountable. The members of the cabinet, people that make up the government, okay, like the ministers, the people that make up the government, okay, are accountable for the decisions of the government, decisions and the actions of the government. Okay. Now let's go back and see the options. We have option A. Option A are collectively responsible to the head of state. Okay, that's not what collective responsibility means. Okay, it doesn't mean that the ministers are responsible um to the head of state. Okay. Now option B are collectively responsible for cabinet decisions. Okay, this is the correct answer. Okay, collective responsibility means that ministers are collectively, all of them are responsible for cabinet decision, okay? Whatever the cabinet decides, okay? um the members of the government, the ministers are accountable, okay, they are responsible for it. Now option C, we have heads of their respective departments. This is not what collective responsibility implies. They must always show a sense of responsibility to their fellow ministers. Of course, this is not correct. I've already explained what collective responsibility means. Okay, it means that the ministers are responsible for decisions and actions of the government, okay, whether it's good or bad. Now, the next one, question 29, we have a major difference between power and authority is that authority is option A, popularly acquired, B, more costly to exercise, C, less dependent on force, D, exercised more frequently. Now, to answer this question, we need to know what power means and what authority means so we can differentiate the two, okay? Now, power refers to the ability or potential for an individual to influence others and control their behaviors, okay? It refers to the ability of one person to control or influence another person, okay? To control the behavior of another person, okay? That is power, okay? Now let's look at it in a negative sense, okay? When, let's say, armed robbers visit a place, okay, they can influence the actions of the people there, okay. They can actually make them behave in a particular way they want them to behave, okay. That is power, okay. That is the negative sense of it, okay. Power can also be used in the positive sense. For example, in a workplace, okay, when you have a higher ranking officer or a higher ranking worker, okay, asking a lower ranking worker to do something personal for him or do something that is not really the duty of the other person to do, that is power, okay. The higher ranking officer is exercising power, okay. It's exercising power because he is not legally authorized to actually make such request from the lower colleague, okay. So that is power. Now let's look at authority. Authority refers to the legal and formal right, okay, the legal and formal right to give commands and make decisions, okay. Now that's the difference between power and authority. Now authority is legal and formal, okay. It talks about rights, okay. It talks about rights to make decisions and commands, okay. Now, like I gave you the example of a higher ranking officer or a higher ranking worker, okay, sending a lower ranking officer or worker on errands, okay. Now, like I said, that is power because the higher ranking officer, okay, does not have the legal and formal rights to actually do that or command the lower ranking officer, okay. He or she does not have the legal or formal right to do that, okay. So authority has to do with legal and formal rights to give commands and make decisions, okay. But power does not necessarily need to be legal or formal, okay. Now let's go back to the questions and choose the correct answer, okay. Now we have option A. We have option A. Popularly acquired. Okay, authority is popularly acquired. Of course, this is not the correct answer. Okay, um, authority does not need to be popularly acquired. So option B, more costly to exercise. This is also not correct. Okay, because to exercise authority something that is legal and is your right does not require to be costly. Okay, does not require you to spend more because it's already your right. Now, option C, we have less dependent on force. Of course, this is the correct answer. Okay. Now, authority does not require force to be exercised. Okay, it does not require force to be exercised because the person in authority already has legal and formal rights to give commands. So, it does not require force. Okay, unlike power. Okay, power requires some force. Okay, it requires some level of intimidation. So authority does not require that. Now we have option D, exercised more frequently. This is not a difference between power and authority. Okay, there's no measurement to how much authority is exercised and how much power is exercised. Okay, so like I said, the correct answer is option C, less dependent on force. Now the next one, okay, question 30. A major weakness of unicameral legislature is that it, option A, delays legislation, B, is suitable for a unitary state, C, breeds struggle for power, and D, does not provide a check against hasty legislation. Now, to answer this question, let's learn what a unicameral legislature is and also what a bicameral legislature is, because in your exams, you might not be asked about unicameral legislature. You might be asked about bicameral legislature, okay? So it's important for you to know these two types of legislature, okay? Now, when we talk about unicameral legislature, it has to do with only one chamber, okay? Is a kind of legislature that has only one chamber or body. In this country, we have two chambers. We have the House of Reps and the Senate. Okay, these are two chambers of legislature. Okay, now Nigeria practices bicameral legislature, okay, because we have two chambers. But there are some countries that do not practice that do not practice bicameral legislature, but unicameral legislature. So unicameral means that there's only one chamber, okay, of legislature, and bicameral legislature means there are two chambers of legislature. Okay. Now let's look at the options and choose the correct one. Okay, we have option A, delays legislation. Okay, now comparing unicameral legislature to bicameral legislature, which one do you think would delay legislation? Which one do you think would delay making of laws? Okay, that's the one that can delay making of laws is bicameral, because unicameral is just one chamber, so they can make laws hastily. Okay, um, hastily, because they don't have another chamber that can checkmate the law that they are making. Okay, now we have option B. So it's not the correct answer. Option B we have is unsuitable for a unitary state. Okay, and this also is not correct. Okay, a unitary state is such state, okay, that has only one central government, unlike federal state that has multiple governments, multiple levels of government. Our unitary state does not have multiple levels of government, it has just one. And unicameral legislation is more effective in such government, okay? It's more effective in such government because it does not have multiple levels of government. It just has um, just one level of government. So unicameral legislature is more effective in such states. Now we have option C, brief struggle for power. Okay, it does not brief struggle for power. It only has one chamber, so it's not struggling for power with any other chamber. Now, option C does not provide a check against hasty legislation. Okay, and this is the correct answer. Unicameral legislature, um, the whole bills are passed, laws are made by just one chamber, okay? There's no other chamber to check their decisions or their legislations, okay? They can hastily make legislations, and there's no other chamber to actually checkmate what they have done, or any legislation or any law that they have made, okay? So option D is the correct answer. Alright guys, that'll be all for today. I hope you learned something new from this video. I'll be uploading another one very soon. If you've not subscribed to this channel, click on the subscribe button. Click on the subscribe button. It will help you see my older videos. I have many videos here, okay? Click on the subscribe button so you can see my older videos and get notified each time I upload a new video, okay? Please do not forget to share this video to your friends. Share the video in groups, in WhatsApp groups, anywhere you can share the video to, okay? Please share it to your friends. Let's help as many people as we can to smash this year's exam, okay? Thank you very much for watching, and see you in another video, which is gonna be very soon.